Hello one all, it's your Dr. Stone, chapter 167, Different Strokes, and first and foremost I want to apologize, this video is so very late. It's been a crazy week. Monday I had an exam, which was way harder than Professor said it'd be. Tuesday I had to leave the house for the first time in weeks, I know, so terrifying. Wednesday, group project. Thursday, I was so very tired. And now we finally arrived at Friday, and I finally have a chance to record, thank God. And this first page, it was very unnerving. I mean, last chapter ended with Tsukasa capturing Xeno. Xeno looks so shocked and terrified. But here, he is downright smiling. How did you arrive? I didn't hear a gunshot. Did you arrive from the sky, flying in? No, that wouldn't work. A tunnel, right? Oh, a truly elegant solution. Like, Xeno, there is a knife to your neck being wielded by one of the strongest people in the world. Be a little more afraid right here. It's seriously unnerving how not afraid he is. Anyway, then we flash back to how Chrome and the gang arrived in the castle. Seems like Crow popped out right under a cow. I feel like Boichi just really loves drawing animals. And then Tsukasa gets knocked into corn feed, which is, oh, so utterly adorable. Also, yeah, a whole lot of yellow dent corn, so they basically have everything they need to revive basically every person on Earth at this point. Good for them! And I absolutely do just love that Suka distracted the cards. Well, you know, Jen was vomiting cards in order to divert their attention so that Kohaku can come in and take them out. Oh my god. Jen's line. If forced to choose, I would rather be subdued by you, dear Kohaku. Which, yeah, me too, because, you know, the guard actually looks pretty happy while Kohaku is squeezing him hard. That's really creepy, but whatever. Anyway, then Kohaku opens the door and all these giant men standing there. And Tsukasa just standing behind her like, yeah, I'll take care of this. Okay, you do you, Tsukasa, you do you. And then we get Chrome just so freaking happy and excited to be witnessing all this 21st century science stuff. And Xeno suddenly realizes, wait a minute. You're not from my era, are you? I mean, this was something I think Xeno already was somewhat aware of. He commented before about how they had so many unpetrified people, which to him either means, you know, they found a way to unpetrify people, or they found people who have survived all this time and managed to, you know, reach this current era. And then we get to the part of the chapter I really, truly need to complain about. I mean, those of you who are familiar with my channel know that I very rarely complain, except about the Arifureta anime, about any decisions the characters, author, writer, whatever make, but I got some real issues with what happens here. I mean, right, first and foremost, this whole, you know, tunnel thing where Xeno and Chrome are trapped underground. I feel like that could have been a chapter in itself, them talking and back and forth about, you know, their lives, what they've been through. Chrome sciencing some sort of contraption to get them out there. I feel like more time could have been spent on that, and I think it would have been really helpful just, you know, seeing Xeno, the master of the old science world, and Chrome, the master of the new science world, meeting and talking and learning from each other. I think it'd be so amazing. Don't get me wrong, what we got was cool, but it could have been so much more. And then there's the bomb. Yeah, I got a whole lot of problems with this bomb they used to propel themselves forward. I mean, I am by no means a physicist. I've actually become physically ill during 2 separate physics final exams. No joke. So I couldn't say with 100%, but I feel like this bomb wouldn't really have propelled them forward as we saw here. I mean, yes, they created like a circular base in the bottom to try and impact more of the force into the rocket sled they essentially put together. But, I mean, there's still a lot of, you know, space around it. I mean, bullets fire out of guns because the expanding air has nowhere else to go except in the direction of the bullet, so it pushes it out. Here, there's a whole lot of, you know, air and space around it, which would have sent a lot of the force around it, so it wouldn't have really hit it that well. And then there's also the fact that it probably should have killed them. I mean, a bomb like this going off, you know, literally a few feet away from them, very least should have, like, popped their eardrums. Though I wouldn't have been too surprised if it had liquefied their organs. I mean, if this had been Senku, I would have been willing to, you know, look past it. I mean, there are, you know, calculations one can do to figure out the exact force and impact a bomb has, where it's survivable, all that. Senku, you know, can know the formulas. He can probably do all the calculations in his head, figure it out. I can't imagine Senku informed Chrome, and I can't imagine that Chrome has learned all those formulas by this point. Plus, there's also the fact Chrome couldn't really have practiced this too much, because, you know, if you start off setting bombs a few 100 feet away from Xeno's base, they're going to notice that. The scouts are going to see the explosions going off and go investigate, so... Yeah, a lot of problem with Chrome building a bomb like this, and it not killing them. I mean, yes, it did collapse a tunnel, which, at the very least, it should have done that, but... I don't know, it felt like a cheap way to get Chrome and Xeno together inside this tunnel, and felt like the most unscientific thing we've seen in this entire series. There's also the fact you shouldn't really trust Chrome's calculations too much, since his digging plan ended up with him directly under a cow. Not exactly sure where he was planning on popping out, but it's made very clear that he wasn't supposed to come out, in the barn. So, yeah, very worried about his calculations, especially when it comes to building a bomb. Anyway, then the, tunnel collapsed on both ends. Now it's a digging race. Who can get to the other end first? And then we get their conversation back and forth. Even as, Xeno is bleeding and in a tunnel about to suffocate, he still needs to take a minute to compliment Chrome on how elegant his plan was, building an underground tunnel as well as a cable car escape plan in the stone world. It's truly elegant. He says that he's like, actually, the light is back in his eyes. Interesting. That's not something we saw very often. That's something we only really saw when he was, talking with Senko. I just realized that now. Now it's back as he's, talking to another, I guess he could imagine Chrome being his protege. I just really want to know what the relationship is going to be between, Chrome and Xeno moving forward. Senko learned a lot from him, so could Chrome become his next student? Certainly seems what he wants to happen here now that, he's murdered his last student. Just saying. And as Xeno goes on to explain, we actually kind of already won. Stanley took over your ship completely. We've captured all your people, but I'm not planning on killing anyone else, so why don't you just surrender here and come work for me? I'm still very curious about what's going on back on the ship. I mean, I've said before, I think Jinro and Luna could be a very interesting team that managed to, take back control of the ship, beat Stanley somehow, some way. I'd absolutely love that's the case. Maybe then we could even see, Luna switching sides, falling in love with Jinro. Oh, that'd be a fun couple. That'd be a very, very fun couple. Then we get this absolutely amazing and terrifying page as Xeno is talking about the ignorant masses, ethics, morals, politics. Those idiots stood by such worthless concepts and prevented humanity from truly progressing. I'm sure you know the types, brutes who would sooner throw a punch than see the true value of science, and, yeah, that feels rather appropriate right now. I mean, I think it's always appropriate, but right now with the whole, mask debate going on, especially in America right now, that feels very, very appropriate. So a new world order, one in which scientists, have full control, in which they have say over what's right or what's true or what people should do, it feels like it'd be very beneficial, at least right now, in keeping people from dying at the very least. And this just reminds him of Magma, the whole adventure they had in the cave, which I'm wondering if that was the whole point of that adventure in the cave was for this exact moment. Maybe. I would not be that surprised. I mean, yeah, they also got Magma on their side, but I feel like the author could have already been planning this far ahead. It would not surprise me whatsoever. And Chrome basically says, I don't understand why they want power. I don't want to understand why they really want to control things, but that doesn't make them fools. I ain't so high and mighty to judge people on what they love. It just, such an open-minded, pure response from Chrome, and I just absolutely love him. Though I do love the thought of, making him a commander. Chrome being, part of Xeno's army, controlling the world. That would have been really fun to say. Anyway, then they managed to break through. Taiju using the freaking giant drill as a tool to break through the dirt was just absolutely so amazing. I love that. And the message goes out. Target captured. Get that, Senku. We got the enemy Kang. Dr. Xeno is in hand. Oh, and this look on Xeno's face, I just absolutely freaking love it. He's like, Senku? He's alive? Honestly, I'm not even sure if he's more surprised that Senku is alive or that Stanley, his childhood friend, his #1 assassin, failed to kill someone. So, what's the plan moving forward? That's the real question here. I mean, they have the car all set up. I mean, they can drive Xeno to the ship away from the castle where all the soldiers are chasing after them way faster than the soldiers can run. So, they basically escaped from that, but what's going to happen when they actually, get back to the ship? We're basically in a hostage situation at this point because, Stanley has Senku's entire ship, and not Stanley, the pilot, has Senku in her crossfires, and Chrome has, the enemy leader, Dr. Xeno, so yeah, I feel like it can't end any other way than Xeno surrendering, Xeno giving the order for them to put down their arms, because, they can't really control the enemy by force. Even if they, capture Xeno, put him in a cage, in prison, whatever. Sooner or later, Stanley and his team of super soldiers are going to find a way to break into the enemy ship and free their leader and then, murder everyone on board. It needs to be the case that Xeno gives up. He surrenders. He signs a peace treaty of his own will. This is more about proving to Xeno there is another method of science, another way of doing things, and that their science is just as good as his is. I mean, that being said, we still have Senku being held up at gunpoint, but maybe Max is going to come in and save the day. We haven't seen him in a very long time. Don't know what he's up to. Yeah, I'm just really not sure. I feel like next chapter is going to either be, Stanley threatening to murder a bunch of people if they don't let Xeno go, or Xeno just automatically giving the order, you know what, I lost, their science is better, we're going to follow them moving forward, do things their way. And then we also have to have the talk between them about how Senku's planning on building a rocket to the moon to face the Y-Man, the one who petrified the entire world. That's going to be a very, very interesting conversation. I'm very excited for that. Honestly, I think that alone might get Xeno on their side because he's like, a rocket? Oh, that'll be fun. I want to build it. Let's do it. Oh, like I said before, I do have some issues with the whole, bomb thing. Just Chrome building one that's scientifically accurate without, killing himself or breaking his eardrums. And I feel like the conversation between Xeno and Chrome could have lasted longer, been a whole chapter. But I like what we got. I'm very excited to see how these two continue to interact moving forward. What's going to happen between them? Just so excited to see that. And please, let me think all this down below. Senku and Xeno, who's going to blink first? Who's going to surrender? Both sides basically have captured the enemy king, and unless the fighter pilot gets taken out, we're kind of at a draw here, but maybe somehow this will convince Xeno to surrender and start doing things Senku's way. Maybe? I'm really not sure. But please, let me think all this down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video, which will be coming out in just a couple days now. And until then,
peace.